Hi everyone, Annette here from Ask Me Decor. Welcome back, and if you're new, thanks for joining me. So we're going to start this video with a little tour of my front yard, and I'm going to explain to you what the title of this video is all about. So let's start out with a quick tour of my front yard. As you make your way through the front yard, on the right hand side you can see a large flower bed with two giant boulders placed on either side of a very big maple tree. Then there's my bicycle sculpture. Behind the bicycle sculpture is a stone wall that my husband built. He did all the landscaping for our front yard. He had the builder place those large stones where he wanted them. He built all those little stone walls, and he did all the planting. On the left-hand side of the front yard is a slightly smaller flower bed with another large boulder, a metal obelisk sculpture, and a watering can and water pump. Here's a better look at that metal obelisk sculpture. It matches the bicycle on the other side of the yard very well. As you look behind the obelisk sculpture, you can see the Japanese maple tree on the left-hand side, and that is what we're going to talk about today. So right behind me is our Japanese maple tree. It's been a beautiful tree all through the years. We bought it off of a man who raises only Japanese maple trees. We have it about 25 years, and it started to have a problem last year. Let me explain that one. So this Japanese maple tree is planted very close to the corner of the house. Water from the roof was overwhelming the rain guttering and splashing over it and collecting right by the base of that Japanese maple tree. We needed to fix that problem quick, so we got this gutter guard that keeps the water from overflowing the gutter and flooding the tree. Japanese maples do not like their feet wet. They don't like standing in a lot of water. They want a little bit of a drier atmosphere down here at the bottom where their roots are growing. I think this tree started to die just because of all this water that was pouring off of our rain gutter and flooding the roots right at the bottom here. So we're going to try to fix that. We did give this tree a light trimming in the fall to see what would happen when it started coming into growth in the spring and start leafing out. And we're realizing that it's not doing great. So we are going to attempt to save this tree. I don't know if we're going to or not, but what we're going to do is cut off a lot of this dead growth. Is going to get cut off today. We're going to trim it down. Now I don't want to trim it so far that there's no leaves left on it. You have to leave some leaves. That's photosynthesis. That's how the tree makes energy and feeds itself. It needs its leaves. So we can't go so far that we cut all the leaves and everything that leaves out off of it, but we are going to trim it way down. We're going to cut all of this dead stuff off. This whole side, really, where the water was hitting it, is what's dead. So we're going to try to cut all that off and see what we get in the end. We also have a few shrubs. Let me show you at the bottom here. There's a few shrubs down here you can see that are giant and need to be trimmed. So today we're going to work on this area. Let me take you around and just kind of give you a preview of what it looks like right now, and then as we're going to trim it and how we're trimming it, I'm going to show you that, and hopefully sometime by the end of the summer I'll be able to show you a tree that's reviving itself. If not, I will show you a tree that is replacing this one. We're going to see what happens and hope for the best.
It's the fire in the rain. It's the smile within the pain. It's the logic but insane. You cannot know from where it came. It's the way you cross the floor before you head on out the door. figure on the wall. So many times I heed the call. It's the silence of the room, the way you turn before you bloom. Another shadow for the blind. I think I'm gonna lose my mind.
These are the tree spikes we're going to use to try to help save this tree. They come in a little spike form, and they have a little white cap that comes with them. You put the white cap on the spike, you hammer it in the ground. Then you take the white cap off and finish hammering in about 2 more inches.
Don't know where I should begin. I don't know where I should begin. I don't know where I should begin. There's far too many of us here, a crowded planet full of fear. It's not the way it's meant to be. We should be happy living free. Although I'm
So let's recap what we did here. First, we trimmed off all the dead parts of this tree. Pretty much half of this tree was dead, and you could tell the limbs were very brittle and very dry. The main stem of this side of the tree was cracking in half, so we know it was dead. So we trimmed all that off, and we are hoping that the energy of this tree goes to new growth instead of trying to save its dying growth. So the second thing we did was trim these Japanese hollies. That opens up the airflow back here and gives some fresh air and nutrient to the bottom of the tree. The third thing that we did was give it those food spikes, and you put them in the ground, you hammer them in. Hopefully as it rains, those food spikes are going to feed this tree and give it some new life. I don't know if this is going to work, but we're certainly going to try. I'm planning on giving you updates all through the summer of how our tree is doing. Like I said before, if it doesn't make it, we probably will replace it, but we're certainly going to try to save it. So when you're putting in those food spikes, you want to figure out where the canopy of the tree is, how far these limbs go out in a diameter, and then you're going to go around that diameter, and that's where the food spikes are going to go. You don't want them up to the base of the tree. You want them around the outer edge of the canopy of the tree. That way, when the rain hits the ground, that food will go into where these roots are going out, and it will feed the tree. Now this tree is about 10 feet tall, so it took 7 spikes to go around the outer edge of the canopy. And I'm hoping that's enough to revitalize this tree. We'll see. Well, that's going to do it for today's video. Really hoping we saved a tree today and I don't have to be all sad anymore about it. I will keep you updated in the next few videos on how it's doing. Hopefully by the end of the summer, we will see a tree that's doing okay and we don't need to replace. Until then, I hope you like and subscribe the videos. That really helps me. And if you have any questions, just ask me. And I can't wait to see you in the next video.
It's the silence of the room, the way you turn before you bloom. Another shadow for the blind. I think I'm gonna lose my mind. Although I'm running up a hill, I feel I'm always standing still. Can't remember where I've been. I don't know where I should be.